Today we'll be discussing plant-water relations. Plant-water relations encompass the process by which plants absorb, transport, and utilize water, along with the factors influencing these all processes. We know that life originated in water, and water remains a key molecule in maintaining life on Earth. So the quantity of water absorbed by a plant is enormous and is far greater than the taken by animals of the same weight. This is because the loss of water by plants through transpiration is enormous. Water performs several major functions in plants. Like water is very good solvent, means it easily dissolves electrolytes and small molecules such as glucose, amino acids, etc. Then water participate in many biochemical reactions, like it is involved in photosynthesis, which is the most important process of plants' life. Then photochemical splitting of water that evolves oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Water also provides rigidity to the cells, and the cells maintain their shape due to rigidity, which is brought about by the hydrostatic pressure of the water in the plant. So, understanding plant water relation is crucial for comprehending how plants maintain hydration, regulate internal processes, and adapt to various environmental conditions. So, key aspects of plant water relations include: first is water uptake by roots through the plant vascular system, that is through xylem and phloem, transpiration from leaves, and the impact of water potential on uh, these processes. Before starting with the first aspect, that is water absorption, a little I will tell you about soil water. The soil water content exert a great influence on some physical and chemical properties of soil, such as oxygen content, which interferes with the root breeding, microbial activities, soil chemical status. So water potential is directly dependent on soil physical characteristic and varies with time and space depending on soil water balance. So this balance is determined by input and output. Input means rain and irrigation, and output of the soil means drainage and evaporation and root absorption. So it is noteworthy that amount of rain affecting soil water reservoir is only the effective precipitation. So this is the amount of precipitation that is actually added and stored in the soil. So water absorption, flow water flow of a plant is primarily controlled by the transpiration rate. As the roots absorb water, just look at this diagram. This is structure of root. And you can see here root, small root here, then epidermis, cortex, next layer endodermis, pericycle, and innermost. These are the vascular tissues, and this is xylem, then root cap. So as roots absorb water, there is reduction in the water potential in the soil that is in contact with the root's rhizosphere. Now, what is rhizosphere? Just look at this second diagram. This is transverse section of root. These are root here, and this part is rhizosphere. Rhizosphere is a zone of soil surrounding the plant root where the biology and chemistry of the soil is influenced by the root. So this zone is about 1 mm wide but has no distinct edge. So this process is this process establish a water potential gradient between the rhizosphere and the neighboring region of the soil, which presents a high water potential and which coordinates the water movement toward the roots of the transpiring plant. So this water movement in the soil occur mainly through the mass flow due to the fact that water-filled micropores of the soil are interconnected. So therefore, flow water flows from soil to the roots. From here, from soil to the roots, uh, it uh, this rate depending on the water potential gradient between soil and the plant, which is affected by plant water need, then hydraulic conductivity and of hydraulic conductivity of the soil and soil type, and also soil water content. Therefore, water flows from soil to the root at a rate depending on water potential gradient. Then sandy soils, for example, have higher conductivity due to greater porosity, but they also retain less water in relation to the clay soils or soil rich in organic matter. So at a field capacity, water is initially removed from the center of the largest pore. Largest pores means space is greater than or equal to 50 nm, that are too large to have any significant capillary force. And between the soil particles, maintaining the water next to the particles due to adhesive forces. So the reduction of water content causes a drastic decrease in soil hydraulic conductivity because water is replaced by air in the spaces between the soil particles. Thus, the water movement in the soil is limited to the periphery of the soil pores, which can promote restrictions in the hydraulic conductivity of the root surface and reach the permanent wilting point. Just look at this diagram. This is showing detail of rhizosphere. So here, as the water is absorbed by the root, right? The open space is filled with air spaces. As I already told you, these are the open spaces, light blue in color. This is a small arrows showing this space. So as the water absorbed by roots, the open space is filled with air. During absorption, water can flow by symplastic, apoplastic, and transmembrane pathways to the endodermis cells. This is endodermis, right? Where the Casparian stripes is present. Apoplastic pathways. So apoplast, is a continuous network of cell walls and intercellular spaces, while symplast is the continuous network of protoplast, means the living parts of the cells connected by plasmodesmata. Another important point, the water absorption by root is related to its surface directly in contact with soil. Thus, the longer and the younger roots with more root hair are essential for increasing the contact surface and improve the water absorption capacity of the soil. Next is accession of water through the plant vascular tissues. So plants can raise water upward from the soil by roots to great height of the trees. You can see here in this diagram, it's showing flow of water from roots till the top of the plant. So this is leaf part, root, and how the water flows from the root till the top of the plant. We will discuss this. So scientists consider two possibilities. First is water is either pushed up by the driving forces that might develop at the bottom, means at the roots, or second is it is pulled up by the forces created at the top, means leaves of the plants. So even 400 years ago it was recognized that it is the xylem that conduits the water, not the phloem that translocate water in plants. So it was the Italian anatomist Marfisi, yes, who is in 1679, demonstrated that if the ring of the phloem was removed, the path of the water was unaffected. So the water flows from the roots to the shoot of the plant through the xylem. In general, mechanism to explain the upward movement of the water is the cohesion tension theory, which was given by Dixon and Joly in 1894. Basically, this theory holds that water evaporated in leaves establishes tensile strength in the xylem, where the hydrogen bonds provide a continuous intermolecular attraction, means cohesion, between the water molecules from the leaf to the root. So thus the water column in the xylem lumen is driven out of the region with higher water potential, that is from the root and the stem to the region where the lower water potential, means where the lower water potential in the leaves, and finally toward the air that can reach very low water potential. So recently cohesion theory has been questioned as a result of assessment of the tension in the xylem vessels, which do not present a direct relation with the tension values measured in leaves through pressure chambers. However, despite these questions, many studies argue that the fundamentals of the cohesion tension theory are still valid for explaining the water flow in the continuous soil plant atmosphere. So, next aspect of plant water relation is transpiration. So, in leaf basophils, uh, there is an extensive system of intercellular spaces present in the cell wall, which corresponds to the internal surface of the water content with the contact with the air. So, by this interface between the cell walls and the intercellular spaces is established a water potential gradient, mobilizing the water by the cell walls from the final extremities of the xylem bundles. So, does the water flow by cell walls occur in an analogous way to the principle of water movement through the soil matrix, and the water interact with the cellulose microfibrils due to the high surface tension and as a result of water evaporation in the surface of the cell walls, which are in contact with the air in the intercellular spaces. It is established that the tensile strength is transmitted to the xylem. Therefore, it is the tensile strength that drives the upward flow of the water column from the root and is produced in the internal evaporation process in the leaves. The maintenance of this process as a result depends on the output, means in the atmosphere, of the water vapor present in the intercellular spaces, as the leaf cuticle represents a barrier to the water outlet, allowing on the average only 5% of the water permeability. The water vapors moves from the leaf intercellular spaces to the atmosphere predominantly through stomatal diffusion. So this process of loss of water vapors by the leaves is called transpiration and corresponds to the majority 90% of the volume of water absorbed by the plants. So next is water potential. The water content in the soil, plants, and atmosphere is usually described as water potential. Uh, this is based on the relation between the water content in the part of the system and pure water at the same temperature and atmospheric pressure measured in pressure units, that is megapascal. By definition, the potential of free pure water at atmospheric pressure and at the temperature of 25 degrees Celsius corresponds to 0 megapascal. The contrast in the water potential between 2 points invariably determines the direction of water transport in the system. So, more precisely, water potential represents all the water pressure in the given system, and it is the sum of osmotic potential, matrix potential, hydrostatic pressure or the turgor potential, and the gravitational potential. So, all these terms we will discuss in our next lecture. So, next is, and the last point is factors affecting plant water relations. So, there are different factors like environmental factors, plant factors, and other factors. So, environmental factors include soil moisture, means the amount of availability of the water in the soil directly. This impact how much water a plant can absorb. Then temperature, high temperature increase the transpiration rate, and low temperature can slow down the water uptake, right? Then humidity, light intensity, then water light intensity, then wind speed. Plant factors include root system, stomatal behavior, plant structure. Then other factors include soil texture, structure, transpiration, water potential, and imbibition. Thank you.